Certainly grateful here this afternoon. Friday afternoon is an odd time perhaps to be holding a recital in school, but welcome to the music department of Joe International School, although actually not the music department now. We are in our lecture theatre, which actually is quite a nice venue for chamber music because it has a lovely acoustic which travels very well in this space, and it's also quite blossoming. It makes a nice sound. So we have a very, very special artist today, and a very special occasion really, because he has completed his book 4 of the Suzuki method, and this is Matthias Fang. He is a year 4 student at German International School, so already you can guess that's quite an achievement. And in this recital he's going to play 2 concerti for us. The first is a concerto by Friedrich Seitz. I'll tell you more about this in a moment. And the second is by Antonio Vivaldi, you've probably heard of. He is going to be supported and accompanied by a number of musicians and friends. These include the accompanist on piano, Marietta Del Mar, who is an old friend in the music department. We have Melissa Robbins on viola, Franz Lanzandros on violin, Mr. James Salas also on violin, and Jordan Bateman on violoncello, as we call it. So, let me tell you a bit about the music. There are some program notes in your program, so you can read those. Friedrich Seitz was a German composer, and probably if it wasn't for the Suzuki method, we probably wouldn't know much about him. But because he's been chosen as one of the composers for the Suzuki books, these pieces get played quite a lot. He was born in Guntersleben, near Gotha, in Germany, in 1848, and he died in Dessau in 1918. All the places I'm going to mention, and yes, I have had to look for that, are in Thuringia and neighbouring Saxe-Anhalt, which was very much Bach's pied à terre in Germany. So it's sort of east central Germany. He served as a conductor in the pretty town of Sondershausen, which is where he also studied and met his wife, who was his teacher's daughter. He served then as a conductor, and then he moved on to be a concertmaster, which is the German expression for a leader of the orchestra, in Magdeburg, a more substantial city on the river Elbe. Finally, from 1884, he was appointed court concertmeister in Dessau, where he lived until his death. Dessau would later become famous as the location of the famous Bauhaus College of Architecture. See our DT expert nodding in agreement. Very, very famous, which attracted many of the leading artists of the Weimar years in the 1930s. And it was also, at the same time, the birthplace of the composer Kurt Weill. Seitz was particularly active as a teacher, and he's remembered for his 8 Schülerkonzerte, or teaching concertos. Now these are unusual as pedagogical works, because usually when you write works for kids, you're writing at the lower end, you know, and grading them through. But these are very much aimed at advanced students, and are intended to introduce pupils to something of 19th century concerto technique. And they've remained in the teaching repertoire largely, as I said, due to their inclusion in the Suzuki method. So today, we're going to hear number 5, concerto number 5 in its entirety from that set. There'll then follow a very short intermission whilst we reset the stage. And then after that interval, Matthias Fang will perform Vivaldi's concerto in A minor, RV356. This was the 6th of 12 concertos in Vivaldi's Opus 3 set, entitled L'Estro Harmonico, or the Harmonic Vision. Harmonic Vision, Harmonic Expression, Nowadays, Vivaldi is much more famous for his set of violin concertos called The 4 Seasons. I'm sure you've heard of them, and if not, I'm sure you've eaten the pizza that's named after them. But in his day, and certainly in terms of music history, L'Estro Harmonico sets are far more important. This is because they were amongst the earliest concertos to be published at a time when most music only existed in handwritten manuscript. Furthermore, the set wasn't published in Italy, where Vivaldi lived and worked, but in Amsterdam by the exiled French Huguenot publisher Estienne Roger. This ensured that Vivaldi's music was seen by North European composers of influence, such as Telemann, Handel, J.S. Bach, who I just mentioned, and that his many innovations, notably structure, melody, and harmony, would be taken up by them, and confirmed the solo concerto as a significant musical instrumental form going forward to the classical and romantic periods. In fact, at that time there were two types of concerto. There was the solo concerto, which Vivaldi favoured, and there was the concerto grosso, which involved a small group of solo players. And of course, the concerto grosso fell by the wayside by the end of the period. The solo concerto powered on through Mozart, Haydn, and Mozart. In fact, we know that Bach saw this edition, this set of concertos, when he was working in Weimar. This would have been around about 1712, 1713, just after they'd been published. So that it was hot stuff, yeah? And at that time, early in his career, Bach was starting to write a series of concertos himself. So he's clearly modelling on Vivaldi. And 10 years later, that series of concertos will be collated into what we now know as the Brandenburg Concertos, terribly important, famous pieces of music. So this all goes to show how technology, even back in history, so the technology of the printing press, just as in our own time, technology in the form of radio, CD, computers, has shaped the course of music history. So first of all, please enjoy Concerto No. 5 by Friedrich Seitz, performed by Matthias Lo Fang and accompanied by Marietta Dalma.
Thank